Good morning, girls. In the previous class, we learned about Buddhism, about the founder of Buddhism, Gautam Buddha, the Great Renunciation. Why is it called the Great Renunciation? And we also learned about when and where Buddha attained enlightenment. And we learned about Dharma Chakrava Parivartan. And we went and learned about the teachings of Buddhism, which included the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, and Buddha's attitude towards God. Now, in this video today, we are going to learn about the code of conduct which Buddha formulated for his followers. Excuse me. This included the following: not to tell a lie, not to own property, not to consume alcoholic drinks, not to commit violence, and not to indulge in corrupt practices. So basically, this was to lead a pious and honest and upright life. Like Hinduism, Buddhism also believed in the theory of karma. Buddhism said that man is the maker of his destiny, and it believed in rebirth. The evil deeds will be punished. Therefore, man should follow a middle path. It is karma which decides the type of man's existence in the next life. It is called the wheel of existence. So earlier also we had seen that Buddhism had some of the principles and rituals in Buddhism had been taken from Hinduism and some were taken from Jainism. Now, stress on morality. Buddha insisted on a life based on good actions. His followers were enjoined to practice non-violence and to lead an upright life. Nirvana. The ultimate goal of life is to attain nirvana or salvation. It is a peaceful state of mind which conquers all diseases, makes the person free from the cycle of birth and death. He also preached universal brotherhood of mankind. He wanted people to live in peace, setting aside all their differences. He invited people of all classes and races to join Buddhism. Now, Buddhists did not believe in rituals and sacrifices. Buddha said that yajnas cannot change a man's destiny. Sacrifices and rituals are empty ceremonies. Buddha believed in ahimsa or non-violence, and he preached the same to his followers. Like Mahavir, Buddha attached importance to sanctity of life and followed the path of non-violence. Thus, the importance given to conduct and values rather than claims of superiority based on birth. Fellow feelings, compassion for the young and weak, drew men and women to Buddhist teaching. So, unlike what was happening in Hinduism, Brahmins lay claim to superiority or by birth. So, nothing of the sort was being practiced in Buddhism. So this is one of the major reasons that all men and women, they diverted to Buddhist teachings. Now let us see the organization of Buddhism, the Sangha. The organization for teaching of Buddhism came to be known as the Sangha. It was a monastic order established to spread Buddhism. Monastic order living under religious vows. Later, the Sangha became a powerful institution. It helped to spread Buddhism far and wide. The principles that governed the Sangha are the following. Let us first see the membership. The members of the monastic order were called bhikshus and bhikshunis. They were required to renounce the world before joining the Sangha, give up their worldly life. The minimum age was 15 years during Buddha's time. The members had to take the oath, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami, and Sangham Sharanam Gacchami, which translates to I take shelter under Buddha, I take shelter under religion, I take shelter under the Sangha. The followers had to undergo training for 10 years. Now, there were 10 commandments which the Buddhist or the members had to follow. The members had to lead a disciplined life and follow the 10 commandments, the Paramita. To speak the truth, to abide by brahmacharya, not to harm creatures, not to own property, to shun music and dancing, to take meals only at fixed times, not to use intoxicants, not to use scented goods, not to sleep on cushions, not to keep money. So, these were the 10 commandments that the bhikshus and bhikshunis were supposed to follow. In simple words, they were asked to lead a very simple and austere life. Now we look at the vihars. The bhikshus and the bhikshunis were required to roam about in different parts of the country for 8 months of the year. They had to sleep in vihars, each had separate sections for men and women. Special rules were framed for the bhikshunis. This was done to ensure discipline. In the vihars, the members led a life of chastity, austerity, devotion and purity. So nothing much to explain over here, but you need to learn all this by heart and keep marking. Children, please keep underlining whatever you see underlined in my book. Now, like Jainism, Buddhism also later on got divided into 2 sects, the Hinayana and the Mahayana. During the deliberations of the 4th Buddhist Council, that is during the conference in the reign of Kanishk, Buddhism split into 2 sects, the Hinayana and the Mahayana. Let us first look at the Hinayana sect. Hinayana stood for following the doctrine of Buddha in letter and spirit, word by word. Whatever Buddha had preached, whatever Buddha had formulated, they had to follow. It denied the existence of God. Hinayana holds that the Eightfold Path is the only means of salvation. It shuns idol worship and does not believe that Buddha was God. They regarded Buddha as a human being who attained enlightenment and nirvana through his own efforts. Pali was used by the followers of Hinayana as the language of its scriptures. The Hinayana sect is found in India, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Cambodia and Laos. So this entire, you might be asked to write a short note on Hinayana. So please underline each and everything and make sure that when you are answering, everything is to be written in points. Now let us look at the second sect, the Mahayana. The term Mahayana means the greater vehicle of salvation. It is a combination of Buddhism and Hinduism. Mahayana believes that Buddha was an incarnation of God and he was the one who could ensure salvation. So the major difference is the Hinayanas, they did not believe that Buddha was God. They regarded Buddha as a human being, whereas Mahayana believed that Buddha was an incarnation of God. Here he was the one who could ensure salvation, that if they worship Buddha, they are sure to ensure or achieve salvation. Simultaneously, the concept of the Bodhisattva also developed. According to Mahayana, the Bodhisattvas were those holy Buddhists who had not as yet got nirvana like Buddha, but who were proceeding rapidly towards it. That they, with their simple life, austere life, and by praying to Buddha, they were rapidly on their way to achieve or attain nirvana or salvation. In fact, they were Buddha in the making. They made their goal to attain Swarga rather than attaining nirvana. So, Mahayana sect wanted to attain Swarga and not attain nirvana. The worship of images of the Buddha and Bodhisattvas became an important component of Mahayana. So, they were not shunning idol worship as all, as they had images of Buddha and other Bodhisattvas in their temples or homes. Now, Buddhist scholars like Nagarjuna and Asang founded the Mahayana sect. They wrote their scriptures in Sanskrit. Now, Hinayana, all the scriptures were written in Pali, the language of the common man. Now, Mahayana scriptures, they wrote, scripture was in Sanskrit. Kanishk was a follower of Mahayana. The followers of this sect are found in northwestern parts of India, Southeast Asian countries, China and Japan. Now, this is all for today. I want you to go again through the organization, the Sangh, the membership and the 10 commandments. Then you need to learn about the two sects of Buddhism, the Hinayana and Mahayana, and the major difference in their teachings. In the next class, we are going to learn about the impact of Buddhism and the decline of Buddhism. With that, we will come to the end of the chapter. So please, whatever we have studied today, revise it. Any doubts, any clarification which you need, you might ask when the school reopens. Thank you.